we were out at recess playing around, and I had a big hat on, and they just let us go out for recess. And a puff of wind come up and looked bad. We didn't think anything about it, but they called us in, and we was in line marching in. One of the kids flipped my hat up in the air, and the wind caught it, took it down about a half a block. So I ran down and got it, got back in, and just walked in and sat down, and it felt like a steam, cold steam. And you could see the windows give, and the storm hit. And I run back to get underneath the seat so I could protect myself, and there was already 2 or 3 of them in there. And so I started out, and Emmett Fisher was the principal. And he pushed me back, and about that time Ed Pirro came up. And he was a pretty husky boy, and I was kind of husky. So he made a pass that Fisher tried to get out, and Fisher pushed him back. And then I made a pass, and he pushed me back. But that time he had Mr. Fisher off of balance, and Ed run out and went down to the landing, and a piece of timber hit him in the hip, knocked him down. And of course, I went out behind him, and that knocked him down. He stayed there, and I went out the second door. And Mr. Fisher said he saw me go out, but he lost track of me, and about that time a belfry tumbled down, and he thought I was under it. So he went out in the yard and checked around, and he found me laying out in the gutter of the street. My head was bleeding, I was bleeding all over. And he said that he looked at me and I was dead, for his far as he's concerned. And he pulled me up on the kind of a boulevard and left me, and sometime or some way or other, I got up and started down a street, and some girl came along.
All over with, we come home. I remember power lines just snapping, spark, houses burning, a lot of debris on the streets, everything. But we finally got home. All we had was a subfloor house. Looked like the carpenter just quit working, and that we all had subfloor. And that's about all. I do remember a few days later. I remember the soup kitchens they had here in town. The National Guard runner, the doc medics, everybody, they was here. Then we moved from after that. Well, we went to my grandparents' house out in the country, and Red Cross had a big tent put up. All our family lived in it.
Wasn't 2 sticks to our house left. When we got there, it was gone. House was gone, and my granddaddy, he was watching the storm, say, on the back porch, and directly when he seen that big funnel. Well, he hollered for my mother, grandmother, and little baby sister to get in the cellar. They had dug a cellar where they kept their vegetables and stuff, and they just barely got in that cellar when that happened. And that night, what's outstanding was that night was it looked like from back there it was real dark. And I can remember the streaks of lightning that was going across the skies, and it looked like the whole town of Murphysboro was on fire.
My father was out plowing a garden with a horse, and I was outside close to where he was, and he told me to get in the house, and he started to the house with the team of the horse and tied it to the barn behind the house. We lived up on 149 where you turn to go to the Murphysboro Cemetery. The storm come in front of the house and went north up the hill towards the cemetery road. Halfway, turned, come back into town. In the meantime, my father
started for the house, and the wind, when he opened the door, knocked him all the way across the room, but he had to fight his way back to close the door again. Then a dish hit me in the mouth. It split my lip inside, and we had to come to town to see about my sister, so I went along with him. Now, she was pinned underneath the roof on the Longfellow School, but before we got a chance to get over there, I saw a man laying on the boulevard on 21st Street between Logan and Elm, who had his thighs cut to the bone, and he was there with his hands clawing at it, and two women were dipping water out of tin cans out of the gutter. Had him given it to him because he was asking for a drink. So after we found my sister, the town was so tore up, we went on back home. And I had a brother that was pinned up with bricks up to his waist in the high school, but he wasn't hurt. But neither one of them was hurt from the school building. But one boy who was a friend of mine, Lewis Lehman, was in the same grade, was killed by going back looking for his hat. And things fell on him.